It's on! Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Disney's Park Talk Live. I know it's been a while. We still exist. My name is D.B. Mosley, co-founder of Laughing Place, co-host of this show, along with my wife, Rebecca.
Hey, everyone.
Happy Hanukkah to you, Rebecca.
Thank you.
And also Mike Celestino, who is in charge of Southern California theme parks, Star Wars, Muppets, Simpsons, and anything else irreverent that we have to cover. How you doing, Mike?
Good. I have a fun story about California Adventure that I got reminded of it from that clip of Gideon running down Buena Vista Street.
Let's hear it. We're all about fun here.
Should we bring in Jeremiah first, or you want to?
No. Tell your fun story.
So we were at Disneyland Resort over the weekend. Tori wanted to see the Christmas lights, holiday season stuff that was up around both parks. And while we were there at DCA, I went into this shop called Off the Page, you guys are aware of. And I was like, oh, I want to see if they got the Willow wand back in. Because, I heard that it was available at the parks, but it was sold out the last time I was there. And it was there. And I was like, oh, great. I'm going to get the Willow wand. I've been excited about that. And Tori said, no, don't buy the Willow wand. And I was like, why not? I've been really excited about it. I really want the Willow wand. And she was like, no, don't buy the Willow wand. And I was like, why? And I was like, oh, I shouldn't buy things for myself at the holiday season. So I ruined one of my own surprises.
You couldn't just take it and don't buy the Willow wand. Okay, dear. Why? What's wrong with you, lady?
Hey, the opening reminded me of something too.
Go for it.
Isn't that Tom Staggs guy fun? It was fun to see.
What?
It was fun to see Tom Staggs is still in our opening. His name's been tossed around a lot lately, and so it was funny to me that I noticed that's the one of the last faces you see before Gideon runs down the street is Staggs.
Yes, Thomas Staggs. He'll be back. And the fourth member of our team, our vice president in charge of reading material that's at least 20 years old, Jeremiah Good. How you doing, Jeremiah?
Good. It's only 25 years old.
Are you looking through Jeremiah's treasure trove?
So I will tell my fun story. I'm actually here in Albuquerque visiting my family. And when I relocated to California, a lot of my stuff ended up in storage, including my 30 plus issues of E-Ticket magazine that I've tried to reference many times over the years. So I had my sister grab them from our storage, and now I'm taking them back to Florida to where they belong, such as this beauty from 1997.
Yes, the magazine that covered Disneyland up until Walt's death, taking it back to Florida where it belongs.
Yes.
Very good, Jeremiah. All right, guys. Well, it's great to be back with you. It's been a while since the four of us have been together, and I got to tell you, as a man with few friends, I've missed you.
Oh, I've missed you too, Doobie.
See, the feeling is not really mutual, but thank you for forcing that out of yourself, Jeremiah. All right, let's get started with the big story we have here. One of the biggest stories of the year, if I'm not mistaken. Jeremiah, what can you tell us about DuckTales World Showcase Adventure at EPCOT?
Woo! The DuckTales World Showcase Adventure at EPCOT. Tag Disney Parks. Oh, no. So this was announced. Was this at D23 when this was announced, or was this Destination D?
You're the VP.
It was 2019, and it was supposed to come in 2020, which would have been great because it would have been a game you could play while DuckTales was actually on Disney. But, better late than never. So if you played the Agent P, the Phineas and Ferb Agent P game, you will notice a lot of similarities. What it is, for those of you who've never played any of the games, it is an interactive game that takes place around the World Showcase. And 7 of the pavilions have the game where you can go in and you interact with your phone with the Play Disney Parks app. And it's a great way to explore each of the pavilions. It gives you some backstory, and with this, it ties in with DuckTales and some of their adventures And you see a lot of the villains from DuckTales. They also have the original voices from the rebooted DuckTales, not the original voices. And the animation is actual animation that I believe was done during DuckTales. So it was done at the same time. And this is something that I could see Mike loving. Like, he will do every single one of these back to back, but it is something you can do throughout the day or even on multiple visits.
And what exactly do you do? Like, what's the process here?
Really, you're kind of, as they call it, you're an adventurer, because everything, it takes place on your phone. You're helping Uncle Scrooge and the nephews recover artifacts that have been stolen from Uncle Scrooge. You'd think the richest duck in Duckburg would have better security. And each pavilion has different, I don't want to say games, but different goals that you need to do. Some of them are as much fun as going to the steins that actually sing to you. It's not as difficult as like the Kim Possible, the original game around the World Showcase was, where you had to do a little bit more. This is kind of you look at your screen, it says go here, you go there, you press OK, you go there, you press OK. There's a couple of smaller challenges, but nothing that is a major, like, will cause problems with the family.
So you're not solving puzzles in the way that you do, like when you're helping the resistance over on Batu, where you have, they have like 10-gram puzzles or other things like that. This is much more of a go find this thing, and once you found this thing, click a button.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it is, like I said, it's a good way to explore each of the pavilions, and you get a chance to see things, go to the stores. One of the things that I found very funny is I'm sitting there playing this the other day, and I go, oh, that's why they had to reopen the stores in Germany, because 2 of them take place in the stores in Germany. And this is the time. And yeah, one of the great things about this game is it is seen by all the guests in the area. So we were playing it with one of the test days, and we had people asking about it. And then on Friday, when it actually opened to the public, we saw other people playing it. So I think it's just going to gain more popularity as it goes. There wasn't any advertising for it on Friday, even on the map, which I was a little surprised about. But again, it's advertising enough as you're walking through each of the World Showcase pavilions. And Donald's doing something. Louis sliding down the slide for Death in France. Robo Webby pops up in the Mitsukoshi store in Japan.
One of my issues with crud, what was it called at Magic Kingdom? Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom, was it just felt so out of place on Main Street, and it bothered me the way that people are standing up in line and make stuff happen in windows, and here I am and turning this through Main Street. But looking at this stuff here, this stuff to me, at least so far, feels like it really enhances the pavilion. That even if you're not playing, it makes the pavilion better, not worse. Is that the feeling you get too?
Oh, absolutely. As I said, it adds life to the World Showcase. I mean, we've seen everything come back with the entertainment, but adding in this game gives something for kids to do. And you'll be standing there, and all of a sudden Donald Duck will be going around on one of the cuckoo clocks, or the cuckoo clocks start to sing. The steins do fun sounds. It's really just something more that enhances the park.
Happy early birthday, Sonia. Hope you enjoy your time at Universal Studios Hollywood. I am jealous. I would love to be going to Universal Studios Hollywood. I love that park.
Me too. I'm curious about this one, German. When did they change it so that the duck wasn't chasing the woman?
It's something we don't talk about much. There is this PC-ness of
history.
No, one of the best things, and I'm actually surprised Tony hasn't chimed in on this, because when I was doing the first time, I was filming everything, and I'm doing this, and the original in Agent P, it was in the main clock right in the center. As I'm sitting there, I'm like, I film the main clock while something's supposed to be happening and nothing is happening. And then Tony edited the videos and somebody made a comment of, "Oh, Donald's at the other clock." And then when I went back and played it, I looked, I was like, "Oh yeah, it says right there, that one, not that one."
Too hard for Jeremiah.
Those are the outtakes that Tony sent us. At least the spinner works.
So,
cool. So you think
begins working again at Disneyland Resort too.
So fun game, not a hard game, not like the only one of these I remember playing was Kim Possible Adventure, and that was a challenge, at least for my little brain.
Yeah.
This is not like that. This is really just make stuff happen easily and
you go places and you get to enjoy. And it really is like it's fun to hear all the voices on your phone, and it draws people around. Like we'd be sitting there playing and you would just see people start looking over my shoulder like, what is going on over there?
And so you don't have to like go someplace and sign up like you did. You just pull out your phone and start playing. And then again, for nickel and diamond Disney, how much does this cost?
This is free.
This is included with the price of admission?
Yes. So
I don't even have to have Genie Plus?
For $200 on a Disney day, you can play DuckTales World Showcase Adventure. Yes.
I mean, they could have charged for it.
No,
they're not. They could have said, it's included with Genie Plus, but nope, you don't even have to do that.
It's as long as you have the Play Disney app, and you can download it in the Google App Store, the Apple Store, all of those. You play it, you walk around the World Showcase, you get to enjoy it, and you play at your leisure.
Does it interact with the Magic Band Plus in any way?
No, because this was pre-Magic Band Plus when this was all created.
It just opened.
Yeah.
How does it, in terms of just fun playing it? Because I know you've enjoyed playing the Star Wars, the Batuu Adventure and Magic Band Plus, and now this. How do they compare just in terms of fun? Which do you find more fun?
This one is definitely more fun. The Batuu Adventure gets a little frustrating with the hot and cold game, and especially the line to try to redeem your bounty. And one of the things that we discovered when we played it the first time in Germany, and then we played it the second time, they have, I believe it's 5 different locations you can go to. So you can play it 2 or 3 times and still have a different experience each time in the pavilion.
Really?
So we went to the model train area for one. The other time we went into the shop that reopened. Both times we ended up in the cuckoo clock store, and one of them triggers a cuckoo clock that's on this side, and then one of them triggers the steins that are on that side. And as I'm triggering the stein, somebody else triggered the cuckoo clock. So there was this cacophony of sounds all at once, and everybody's looking around like, what is going on? I'm like, DuckTales. Ooh.
Cool. Well, thanks, Jeremiah, for explaining that to us, and look forward to playing that myself. Our next thing we're going to move on to, I guess this is more Mike Celestino, because he's the vice president of Southern California theme parks, and right now this is a Southern California thing. Mike, what do you know about Super Nintendo World and when it may open? Hint, hint.
I hear it may open on the 17th of February.
And this is the one at Universal Studios Hollywood, right?
Yes. So it's already been open in Japan for a couple years.
It opened 21, I believe.
Yeah. And now it's coming here, and then Florida will get it at Epic Universe whenever that opens.
I know you've been you're our photographer for this place when you go out to Universal Studios, getting a bird's eye view of it. How's it looking to you? Are you excited about this?
It really came together very quickly, it seems, and it looks wonderful from what you can see from the Starway going down to the lower lot at Universal. But yeah, I mean, you can see sometimes when you're at the park, you'll see some of those animated figures moving. Yeah, I'm just really excited to get an up close look at a lot of this stuff.
Jeremy, you're a Nintendo fan?
I am. This is something that when they started working on it in Japan, I got really excited. I'm glad that it is coming. It's not the complete one they have in Japan because we don't have the Yoshi Adventure, which is kind of like Secret Life of Pets, where it's a slower kids-based ride, even though we all love The Secret Life of Pets probably more than any of us should, do we? And this one also has interactive wristbands, but they're interactive wristbands you get to collect coins and power-ups.
Rebecca,
that is something they don't do. What'd you say, Doobie?
Is that your era?
Nintendo
and all this stuff?
Nintendo was okay for me because it's a side scroller, and that's about as far as I go when it comes to adventure games. When it comes to video games, that's about the scope of my skill until the Lego started doing some games, because these first-person shooter types, my hand-eye coordination is not such that I would enjoy them. But Nintendo was fun. Were you a Nintendo kid, maybe?
Oh no, I'm an Atari 2600 kid. I'm waiting for them to open Pitfall Land and Pole Position Land, and then I'm going to be there. Side scroller, a different definition of side scroller. But yeah, I'm going to grab the rope and swing over the 8-bit hole, and then I'm going to be excited. So here's a look at.
Honestly, most of my Nintendo play was not console. It was those watch games, those little handheld
watch and play games.
You know which ones I'm talking about. They had one that was called Oil Panic, and so it was like a little. You would open it up, so it would have 2 screens, and you'd have oil dripping from the top, and the little guy in the bottom would have to catch it and then dump it to the little guy in the bottom. That was most of my Nintendo. Were those games.
When I was in about 7th, 8th grade, I got one of those game time watches, which made me the coolest kid in the class. It had like 4 games, and it had like 2 buttons at the bottom, and you could like play Pong or Breakout on it. And I was the cool kid. And that was an improvement. The first game we used to play, and we played this like crazy. We played this for hours. You'd get a digital watch that had a stopwatch that goes to the 100th place, and you try to stop it right on the 00. And we could play that for hours.
I remember playing that game with friends.
I missed out on that game.
Really? And it's fun because you say you want to do it on 10 seconds. You can't just do it any time. So the pressure mounts as you wait for it to 1, 2. Don't choke. 9. 2. Oh, 10.
Funny, you can go to the arcades now and pay like $10 to play that game now.
Yeah, that's true. We invented that. 7th grade, International Children's School. That's right.
I can't
All right.
believe I forgot about that game. Can you get off your stopwatch game?
Hours. So here's a look at what Nintendo. What is the exact name of the Super Nintendo World?
Super Nintendo World, yes.
Here's what it looks like from the upper lot, looking towards the lower lot.
You can see in the bottom left corner of the picture here, Jurassic World.
Jurassic World's right there.
You a little, if you're somebody who's been to Universal Hollywood, so you have some concept of where you are on the lot.
So it's Transformers over here.
Yeah, yes. Right where you are. That is the entrance portal.
Okay, cool. So looking forward to that. I hope you get to cover that, Mike, and
I'm sure I will.
Work on your hopping skills and your head hitting mushroom skills and all that stuff.
I've had a lot of practice.
All right, what else we got going on here? This just came out today, so we can mention this. I think this is rather exciting. Cinderella's Royal Table, which has been reopened for quite a while, but has not been reopened for character dining. Will reopen for character dining on February 28th. No?
See, and I didn't look at this. I didn't look at this story to see exactly the details, because it's had characters in there, but they're up on the balcony area. True. So, now it's more of the closer interaction, which is great.
Yes, they're going to come down and meet with you. Mm-hmm. You're going to have scenes like this again, which is really why you wake up at midnight to get that reservation, is so you can experience that. So I'm excited about that. Any as I always say, anything getting life one step more normal makes me very, very, very happy. What else we got today? Roundup BBQ over at Toy Story. What are you laughing at, Jeremiah?
It's coming soon. It's coming this year. It's coming next year.
So it's coming. It's coming when, Jeremiah?
Spring 2023. So those of you who have paid attention to, media events of the past will know when something is spring 2023 and something else is spring 2023, and there's talk of something else that could be in spring 2023 that we may see over the Castle and Magic Kingdom, usually those all end up being right around the same weekend. So
you feel this is one media event, they're all opening at the same time?
Yeah, I feel like we'll get a chance to see Tron, Lights-Out Run, the Backyard Barbecue, Roundup BBQ, and hopefully the return of Happily Ever After in the same time period.
Can I ask a question based on Gio's comment when we were talking about Princess Cinderella returning to her royal table to greet people in a more official fashion? And that is, do you guys think we're going to see Anastasia appear? I know Anastasia merchandise is beginning to make its way to the parks more frequently because Anastasia is now under the Disney umbrella, given the Fox acquisition. But do you think that Anastasia is a princess that'll start being part of that pantheon of princesses?
I don't think so. And I've had this conversation with some of my friends that are close with Simpsons and Star Wars. Yes, they are both owned by Disney now, but Princess Leia is not a Disney princess. Homer and Marge are not Disney characters. They are acquisition characters. If all of a sudden they stop making The Simpsons or Desilu Studios stops making The Simpsons, I know that's the wrong name, they won't be Disney characters because they're owned. Disney just owns the distribution rights for it. But Anastasia, that new merchandise, and the same with the Simpsons and Star Wars pins that came out at the last pin event, they have different call outs. They're not branded like the Disney pins are. There's a different backing. There's different look to it. So I appreciate that they're bringing Anastasia into the parks for merchandise, but I don't think it's going to turn into we're going to mistaken Anastasia and Anastasia walking together through Fantasyland at some point.
Do you agree with that, Mike?
Yes, I do agree that I would be surprised to see Anastasia, the character, in the Disney park.
Write it down right now. Bold prediction for 2023 coming from the mouth of Doobie. Anastasia will have a walk around someplace in EPCOT's World Showcase sometime in 2023.
Where was Anastasia based?
Russia, a Russia pavilion.
A Russian story.
So that's going to be the catalyst to create the Russia pavilion?
Maybe
what perfect timing to create the Russia pavilion.
Maybe they'll
Nothing controversial about it at all.
We don't know what Russia's going to be in charge of by then, to be honest. Maybe they will do like a Millennium Celebration kind of thing. Maybe Anastasia will move in Anastasia 2 and decide to take up house in Norway.
Wasn't there already an Anastasia 2?
Anastasia 3.
I don't know if there was. I think there was a sequel to it. I've never seen it.
Oh,
hear me out. Hear me out.
Okay, go ahead.
I have a pitch. Anastasmic.
I had that once in my eye. I got to take
it. Kyle,
this is actually a less bold prediction, but more logical.
Our editor is throwing out there that she'll be at the Princess Night, Disneyland After Dark. By the way, this weekend I learned Kirsten Dunst, voice of young Anastasia.
Kirsten Dunst is now a Disney princess. There she goes, Disney legend. She was in the Spider-Man movie and Anastasia.
Yep, there you go.
She should be a Disney legend now. Oh wait, we don't own Sony yet.
No.
No yet. I could see her being at Disneyland After Dark Princess Night just because they like to do such unusual characters at something like that. I could see that happening. I also could see like the princesses that are involved in like Ice Age, the Ice Age movie. I think like Ray Romano voiced a princess there or something. Princess Buttercup could be there too. From what's that? From Shrek?
Buttercup?
Yes, that's from Shrek.
No, Buttercup is Princess Bride, right?
Just Buttercup is the horse in the Three Amigos.
Wait, Donald's in the Three Amigos.
Princess Bride. Thank you, Gio. Princess Bride. Does Disney own Princess Bride now?
Yes, it's on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, please no. Also, Doctor Who. When the Doctor is a female, is that considered a princess?
No. My head is so close to exploding right now. I feel like Tony.
All right. And so, Jeremiah, since we're on things coming and spring and stuff, what's the latest on both Tron Light Cycle / Run in terms of testing you've seen and such, as well as the Disney World Railroad?
I personally have seen the Disney World Railroad being brought on out of the Roundhouse because I drive around that back area when I come across property. And I saw it at the station once. I've not actually seen it running, but I'm guessing that we could see it at some really busy time in the future.
Really? Is this your bold prediction here?
I'm not making a bold prediction, but you figure when you need the most capacity could be in between certain big holidays when the park closes due to capacity. So,
okay.
We'll see about that. And I'm actually surprised we haven't heard any type of announcements about it. Tron Light Cycle / Run, I have seen it nonstop running. Like I've stood outside over by the in the circus and watched it run about every 90 seconds for a while. So that one, I don't think we'll see a soft opening anytime in this year, but we could be seeing that pretty early next year.
And which are you more excited about riding, Tron or Walt Disney World Railroad?
I was having a conversation the other day about the Walt Disney World Railroad and how I do not want to go on opening day and wait an hour for the dullest attraction in any Disney park.
Oh, I thought you were a fan of. Oh no, I forgot. You don't know how to identify Walt Disney.
I'm a fan of the railroad, but that is not any type of attraction. It is a more mode of transportation. Because what do you see on the railroad, Doobie?
You see Big Thunder Mountain. You see Splash Mountain. You see the Rivers of America.
And you see those dinosaurs and the Grand Canyon.
No, that's California. That's California.
That's right.
But it's an attraction. You see cool stuff.
Hey, Javier's asking about Tafiti. Do we have any updates on Tafiti?
We do actually. Tafiti
is coming later. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit later. I want to get Mike back involved.
We'll be talking about Tafiti in a little bit, so be sure to stick around.
So I want to get Mike back involved though. First, Mike, is the railroad an attraction?
Here, definitely. I haven't been on the Orlando version in a long, long time.
Even if it didn't have the Primeval World and the Grand Canyon diorama, would it be an attraction?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you not only for your answer, but for your enthusiasm.
Gio would like to see them do an upgrade like we saw when they were working on Galaxy's Edge. That would that was nice.
Biggest thing, and this was something that I said nonstop when they closed, when they announced Tron, build a bigger building, put the dinosaurs from Universe of Energy in there. You have your own Primeval World already, but they didn't listen to me.
It probably is more worthwhile as a mode of transportation, though, in Magic Kingdom, because it's a bigger park, right?
Yeah, no. But it only has 3
doesn't
stops.
Stop in Tomorrowland. Gio, I know Gio's out there. He's the master of all. Is the railroad a mode of transport? Excuse me, is the railroad an attraction? Is what I want Gio to answer. And whatever he says is the final answer. There will be no further argument. Yes, Jeremiah.
So, Doobie, is the monorail at Disneyland an attraction or a mode of transportation?
First of all, they're not mutually exclusive. Something can be both. And the monorail is most definitely an attraction. I love to ride the monorail just right back and forth. That's an attraction. Let me ask you this. Is the People Mover an attraction?
People Mover does not have multiple stops.
Now, answer my question, Jeremiah.
Yes, it is an attraction because you get
No,
on and
see,
off at
let's
the
stop.
same spot.
So you take it exactly what it is, but you put a stop over by Buzz Lightyear, and all of a sudden it's no longer an attraction?
I don't. There's your ultimate answer there, Doobie.
I rest my case. I know when I'm right. I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable in my rightness. Mike Celestino, did you hear this big news?
I did. I saw that this morning on laughingplace.com.
That's a pretty good website.
Was it this morning or no? I guess not. This afternoon.
Depends where you live. For Edith, it was like a couple days from now. Haunted Mansion Holiday is open for an additional 3 weeks at Disneyland Resort. Usually, it would be closing relatively, basically when Christmas ends, and they're going to keep it open for 3 more weeks. Do we know that? Yes, Jeremiah.
I don't know if that was your next question. Is Small World Holiday scheduled to close first and then?
Yes.
So they're just keeping the Small World Holiday that longer.
Exactly. So usually Small World Holiday would close. I'm sorry. Usually Small World Holiday would stay open longer. Haunted Mansion Holiday would revert, and then Small World would revert. They're flipping that. The reason seeming to be so that Small World will be open for the kickoff of the 100th and Runaway Railway's opening. So there'll be another attraction right next door to eat up people right next door to Toontown. So Haunted Mansion Holiday will now be closing on January 29th, which is a couple of days after the kickoff of the Wonder Celebration and the opening of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway in Toontown. All make sense?
When does Small World Holiday close?
January 9th through the 19th.
Okay. Yeah. So they're doing a quick turnaround on that.
Yes. So there may still be some like flocking in there or something when they're done.
Hey, family show.
That means that Haunted Mansion Holiday will have been open for almost 5 full months this time.
That is a good point. Christmas lasts a while. Do you think that's too long, Mike?
I do. I thought 4 months was too long, but I had accepted it.
Well,
and then they pushed it further.
They're going to add in the Easter segment this time, so they're just going to keep it year round.
Since they have it so long, don't you think they should add a Halloween element like a Haunted Mansion Holiday? Would that be kind of fun? You think in Small World?
Oh,
I thought we were talking about Haunted Mansion.
I think they should add we were, but then I'm wrong.
Okay.
All right, let's just answer this question. Javier has a question. In Frontierland, Splash Mountain will be permanently closed in January to make way for a new rethemed ride, Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Jeremiah, is that accurate?
True.
Yes. Well, yes, January. I was trying to remember if you stay in Disneyland or Disney World. Yes, Disney World closes January 24th. Is that the date that I have in my head?
Kyle, help us out. Gio. Yeah, so he mentioned Frontierland, so he must be talking about Magic Kingdom. Yes. The one in Critter Country, which is at Disneyland, does not yet have a closing date.
And then it will become Tiana's Salt Mound Adventure.
Tiana's Bayou Adventure coming in 2024, January 23rd.
Oh, so it closed on the 22nd is the last day of operation.
What are you dancing to, Mike?
I think Tori and I were having this conversation on Saturday when we were at the park about how it's going to be very weird when they shut down Splash Mountain here and you can't hear the music when you're walking around, both in Critter Country and when you walk like down past the Mickey and Friends, like past the downtown Disney parking lot. You could always hear the Splash Mountain music from there. But she was saying that there are some songs from Princess and the Frog that she'll be happy to hear in lieu of the Splash Mountain music.
When you're walking to the park, it'd be nice to hear Almost There.
Yeah, there you go.
Almost there.
I was going to roll my eyes, and I was like, no, that was good.
Thank you. Goodness. All right. Back to Walt Disney World, Jeremiah. You had the opportunity to get some incredible pictures, an incredible view. I believe this was you of Tafiti.
Yes.
So what can you tell us about her?
She everybody that has seen her that I've been around has went, oh, that isn't what I expected. She's not as large as they expected. 16 feet, people think, oh, you're going to see her from everywhere. You can't really see her that well. I mean, when we were doing the live, you could see her from the distance, but she doesn't stand out. And when the trees and everything in that area grow, she will just fit right in. But it looks beautiful.
Is she indeed larger than Spaceship Earth?
Yes. Spaceship Earth is actually her heart. They're going to put a projection on it every night.
So she is 16 feet tall.
Yes.
And Spaceship Earth is, about 160 feet tall or something?
And 16 is the point where they have to put a red light on the top of her.
Apparently. So never believe your eyes. Crazy. This is a cool shot. She is not this large, but yeah. I mean, she's this large from this angle.
No, if you go back to some of the monorail pictures, you can get a really good feel of what that area is going to look like. And I have been saying this since it was announced. I think this area is going to be lots of fun and very beautiful to walk through, where people are like, oh, how dare they bring her in? But it's going to be such a fun little area. I think it'll be very different than what we're used to walking around EPCOT. But I think it'll add a lot of elements that have been missing since they closed the fountain.
Like trees?
Yes. They are trees that they have planted. So,
yeah, you mentioned that we were doing a live, and you said, "Oh, look, there's trees," and I'm like, "Jeremiah's never seen a tree before." But you pointed out this was having trees in Future World like that, or whatever they're called now, is pretty cool, pretty different. Oh, there's a good view of her. Let's show this one right here. That's actually a really good view. You can see the Moana little circle there. So very exciting. And again, this is a part of generic water feature inspired by Moana.
Journey of Water
inspired by. Is that interesting? Is that a coincidence that we have Journey of Water inspired by Moana and we have Adventureland Treehouse inspired by Swiss Family?
I still stand by they're going to rename the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse when it gets closer, or that show shows up on Disney Plus.
Okay. You stand by that. Flipping back over to Walt Disney World, and this is actually some really exciting stuff that they announced. The return of Disneyland After Dark, expanding in 2023 with Princess Night, and a new one called Princess Night, and then the return of Sweethearts Night, which I know Mike and Tori love to do as a part of their continued celebration of their eternal love for each other. Is that right, Mike?
It's 100% accurate, and we are doing it, in fact, again this year. January 27th, I think, something like that. But it is at Disneyland Resort and not Walt Disney World, as you said.
So the Sweethearts Nights are on January 31st, February 2nd, 5th, 7th, 9th, 14th, and 16th. And the new Princess...
The 7th was sold out when I looked just before showtime.
And that was the only one sold out?
That was the only one that was sold out as of when I looked just before showtime.
I feel like they used to sell out faster, but
there's like 7 of them.
There's a lot more, I think, right, Mike?
That's true.
Yeah,
I think there's a bunch of Sweethearts Nights.
Mm-hmm.
And because they would do 2 for that. I mean, you can see the difference here at Walt Disney World for the after hours, where they were doing the theming at the beginning of COVID. Now it's just going back to the after hours, because those were selling. They weren't selling, then they needed to put in a theme, and then the theme kind of backfired on them, and people were upset because they expected Villains Night to be more than a villain show and after hours, where you guys at Disneyland get a full experience.
Mm-hmm.
So as you said, there are 7 Princess Nights. I'm sorry, 7 Sweethearts Nights, and that's for couples. And if you are not involved in a relationship, but you still want to go to one of these events, they've created a new event for you called Princess Night, and there are going to be 2 of those, March 7th and 9th.
And couples are not allowed at Princess Night. Right?
and singles are not allowed at Sweethearts Night. But what's nice is you can go to
over there
as a single and leave as a couple if you play your cards right. And I guess if you play your cards wrong, you can go to Sweetheart Nights as a couple and leave single too. So.
If you play your cards really right, you can leave Princess Night as a couple with a princess.
There you go.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Anyway.
I had a fear that's where he was going when he started that statement. That I was like, no.
Mike, give me a thumbs up if you're ready to behave. Okay.
2 minutes in the penalty box for Celestino today. It's that holiday.
I'm going to send this tape to Tori. All right.
Hear me? She's in the other room.
She's going, yeah. Anyway,
this is way
ever.
off the rails.
Iconic characters who light the world with kindness, courage, and a touch of magic, shimmering decor, photo opportunities, themed food and beverage, a royal welcome at the train station, an inspiring musical concert celebrating heartwarming, adventurous heroines including Moana, Merida, and more, accompanied by live vocalist Penelope Von Schweetz is a part of it, Tiana's Southern Hospitality, and dance along to the jazz music in New Orleans Square. And I think I have successfully moved on to a different part of the show. All right. Are you scheduled to go one of these yet, Mike?
Yes, I'm going to both Sweethearts and Princess Nights.
This has me so excited. Disney princesses are my favorite part of Disney other than a cruise ship. And I would so love to go to Princess Night. It looks like so much fun.
I wonder if they're going to have Kida and I can't think of her name off the top of my head from Black Cauldron in there. Yeah.
It was fun. They did mention specifically Penelope Von Schweetz. Is there one princess other than Anastasia that you really, really love to see them bring out for Princess Night? Anybody?
Black Cauldron.
Leia.
What did you say, Rebecca?
I said Leia.
Leia, yeah.
Who did you say,
Mike?
Jeremiah?
Black Cauldron.
Oh, Ellen.
Are you being
Yes.
serious? You're being serious? Okay.
Me? Yeah, I would love to. Again, these are the nights where they bring out the most random things. I've never seen anything from Black Cauldron other than there was the Gurgi at one point. And,
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
How about you, Mike?
What other princesses do we not see that often?
I heard somebody at some point, somebody joked that the alien queen from Aliens was
From Alien?
I don't know how a queen would be a princess, so I take that back.
So that would never work. And it's fun. They didn't mention her being there, but they will have a backdrop for the Princess Diaries. I don't think we've ever seen a Princess Diaries walk around.
Oh, that'd be
That'd be
nice.
interesting. Maybe with Julie Andrews there too. I mean, a walk around for the princess and.
Oh, I know. Willow.
Yeah.
Now you got princesses in Willow.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That would be great.
That would be fun to have a Willow contingent.
Great
Yeah.
show, by the way, that Willow.
the new episode was really good. A little
Yeah,
dark.
I'm digging
As
it.
far as I couldn't see it because I was watching it during the daytime dark.
You have to
castle
change the
episode?
settings. You have to change the settings on your TV.
Yeah, you have to turn up the brightness way high on this.
Are you talking about the castle episode?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a dark episode.
Yeah,
Interesting episode.
we had to totally change the settings on our TV for when we watch Disney Plus. Because everything's too dark. We have to.
Oh, Raya, is Raya a princess in Raya and the Last Dragon? We've seen her at the parks already.
Yeah. No, she's just a warrior.
Yeah, I don't think she's technically royal.
It's like
Right.
Mulan and Tinkerbell will be there even though they're not princesses.
And Tony Betty says that after Frozen 2, you can't have Elsa or Anna. So I know he's extremely disappointed about that.
So disappointed. He's probably trying to figure out some construct that it would include Eve.
Eve? Oh, from
Oh,
Wally.
yeah.
I thought you meant from Genesis.
No, not from the Bible. From Wally.
And when you said Genesis, I thought you meant the Phil Collins band.
Yeah, of course he did.
I thought you meant
This is why
Project.
your mind goes to that thing with Princess Night.
I thought you were talking Project Genesis from Star Trek.
With Star Trek 2, yeah.
Yeah,
Which, that's the same Genesis, actually, they're referencing. That's
it
what
really
they call
is.
it.
Yeah.
Genesis. Maybe
Did they
that's why
call
Pam calls it
Genesis-
too?
Yeah. Did they call Genesis because of Genesis?
I don't know. Do you know why Genesis got the name Genesis?
Was it because of Genesis?
The band, yeah, the Phil Collins band.
Oh,
I don't know. But what about Sega Genesis?
Sega. You can't
What about
say it
Terminator
like
Genesis?
No, we don't talk about that. That was so
and then
bad.
I think of how frustrating Sonic is.
Kidder, by the way, has a great fun fact. The only Disney World attraction to have an animatronic geese for the remainder of 2023 will be It's a Small World.
I feel like that's not true. But I
No,
Really?
Star Tours use the same.
It's not a goose anymore, though.
It's
Wait,
not
I
a
feel like
goose
there's-
anymore.
I envision chickens on Pirates. I feel like there's got to be geese there somewhere too. They got
No, geese
pigs.
weren't
There's got to
Geese
be a
weren't invented
goose
until the
somewhere.
20th century. Princess Ada. We've seen Princess Ada out and about before,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the daughter of a chief counts as a princess. We consider Pocahontas a princess.
Okay, so that would be Raya, right?
Yeah, I think that counts. All right. Let's see. One other, maybe one or two other things we want to get to.
Okay.
I'm going to show a little bit of video.
He has tickets to see Avatar.
Who does?
You do. I said you're looking at the clock because you have tickets to see Avatar.
Oh, man.
Good
I
job.
have one goal for this movie.
I'm glad you didn't see it opening weekend because it's considered a loss.
My one goal is to stay awake. Jeremiah, have you been, speaking of Avatar, thanks for the segue, have you been able to see The Way of Water on the Tree of Life?
Yes, I was able to see it the first night. It is very beautiful. The projections are amazing. They have, I don't know if it's coming up, but one of the scenes, one of the giant sea creatures comes overhead and down over the leaves into the actual stump itself.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it looks great. The sound's great. It's funny because nobody really knew, because it was also the return of the holiday projections. So we all kind of stood there and they did the Beacon of Magic for the 50th. And then they did this. And then they did the 2 Christmas ones, and there are 4 Christmas ones total. So we're expecting 2 more and then it to come back. But then it kicked right into the Way of Water one. So I got some good pictures and the video came out really nice.
It is. I'm not the biggest fan of the water projections, but this is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they should show the movie on this, like a special event where you just watch Avatar: The Way of Water on the Tree of Life.
Just as James Cameron intended.
That's just as James Cameron intended.
Oh, exactly. Actually, if you go back to it, Dewey, I think you'll see there it is.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Whoa.
That's pretty wild. Hey, Javier, nothing officially on that Spaceship Earth, but when official news comes out about such things, we make sure to report them here, but nothing officially.
So anyway, go see Avatar. Disney needs the help. I think stock's down about 5% today.
Well, they're announcing Eisner's coming back, so everything will be better for a day.
So, which is sad, because it did well, just not well enough.
Yeah.
It's an expensive movie.
Well, my brother was talking about that with me, and I don't, in a kind of a casual way of just, isn't that kind of how his movies have trended too, though? Like Cameron's movies just kind of stick around for forever. They don't just necessarily open enormously. They open strong, but then they just never seem to go away.
I don't think this one's going to be a long laster, because even the people that I know that were excited about it, we're going to just see it the first weekend, and they kind of went, "Oh yeah, it was good." But with Titanic and the original Avatar, the return for that, and I think that also is a hard thing to do right now, where theaters are still kind of in that we're still recovering from the pandemic. So it's not you don't go to the theater to see the same movie multiple times, because you could see like Strange Worlds. It's available on Disney Plus. I saw it twice in the theater.
So
Yeah.
we'll see. But yeah, I do think this isn't quite the same Avatar, which had to kind of build up word of mouth. However, I trust no one more than your brother when it comes to movie box office. So I would not be shocked if it turns out
No, he was just pointing out. Yeah, no, he was just pointing it out as kind of something that when he thinks of Cameron, that's kind of how he thinks about his films performing at the box office. So he's just interested to see if this one will too.
Right.
I don't know that he was making a prediction as to whether or not it would.
And this is only the third best Cameron sequel ever. So, that's not high praise. I mean, so, it's coming towards the end of the year. I didn't prep you guys for this, so don't feel any stress. But looking back on 2023, give me your top 15. No, give me what sticks out in your mind in terms of theme parks, whether it's a moment, whether it's a ride that opened, whether it's a zeitgeist, a trend, just something that really defines 2022 for you, if anything comes to mind. Again, no stress. Anybody have anything coming to mind? Mike? Yes, Jeremiah.
I will beat everybody to it. I call it the Sunday switch. There are times in history where you remember where you were and what happened. I was driving home from Olive Garden. My phone blew up, and there was the biggest news in the world that Bob Iger was returning. I think that is the definition of 2022 right now for Disney. And then we have D23 Expo, where they announced a lot of nothing that now definitely won't be happening.
Those two kind of go together, the fact that Bob Chapek's D23 Expo. And so, by the way, Tony Betty is going to watch James Cameron's documentary, or it's coming in February, James Cameron's documentary, which he's really doing on whether or not that door in Titanic could have held both characters, or if Jack had to die.
Mythbusters did that.
James Cameron can do better than Mythbusters
because he stands behind the science so well. Yes,
I am looking forward to that too, Tony. Mike, anything come to your mind?
I gotta give
that came to Jeremiah's.
I gotta give credit to Avengers Campus for still keeping things fresh through this whole year. So much so that Star Wars Galaxy's Edge started kind of copycatting them and putting new characters in there and stuff. So kudos to whoever thought of bringing in all those new characters from whatever happens to be fresh in the Marvel Studios world.
I love that one. That is so true. So many times Disney has opened something and gone. And the best part is we can continue to update it and change it every day. And then 20 years later, you've still got the original Star Tours film. But Avengers Campus, they have consistently added new characters the day they debut on Disney Plus. And it's been exciting. Rebecca, anything come to your mind?
It's kind of silly, but the value of Fantasmic. Because it coming back, when I was at Disney World and sitting there and watching Fantasmic, I forgot just like how big a thing it is to your Disney vacation. It's so cool. And the theater, I know I am in the minority with this, but I very much enjoy the dynamic that you have at Disney World of the theater environment. And there's just a different kind of energy with it. And the changes that they made with the show were just magnificent and really give me hope, because quite frankly, I was rather disappointed with the fireworks and with the EPCOT shows. So evening entertainment, which is usually like what I adore, is nighttime entertainment at the parks. And both of those kind of were letdowns in comparison to what they replaced. And so then to have this Fantasmic come and really be astounding and exciting gave me hope as far as where nighttime entertainment can be again at Disney World.
Yeah, you look at how long it took for them to admit their problem. For DCA, it was 11 years. For Disney World, it was less than a year. Of, oh wow, we messed up. Sorry, we're bringing back Happily Ever After, and Illuminations 100 will come soon.
So I'm, like I said, I'm excited.
I love that one, and that kind of relates to the one that comes to mind for me, and that's just a return to normalcy with everything that happened in 2020 and 2021. At least for me, there was a little bit of fear that things would never quite get back to normal. So I've been happy to see that there seems to be a serious effort to get it there. It's not like, well, this is okay. There's an effort to get it there, and little things and big things. I'm happy that buffets have returned and up close characters have returned. You can hug a character. Whatever you're feeling on the matter, I'm happy that cruises are pretty much back to normal, that you don't have to vaccinate, you don't have to test and all that. I love a normal world, and I am very happy that the world that Disney has embraced with caution. They haven't been the first and they haven't gone crazy, but they seem to have embraced and made an effort to try to get back to normal. And my sincere hope, and obviously I realize this isn't just a COVID thing, but I do hope that, come next year at some point, we see a major change in this reservation system, which, while apparently it was going to come anyway, it certainly came during COVID, and it was easy to put that as a part of COVID, and no other parks have it. And hopefully Disney gets rid of it too. And I would like to see a return to complete normalcy where we can have 500,000 people in the park and no one can move. And that's just the way I like it.
That's just because you've lost so much weight. You're ready for that space that was occupied by you. Now other people can be right up on you.
My personal favorite theme park memory of the year is getting on that flight of passage and realizing I fit. That
awesome. Is one of my
favorite
memories.
Never forgive Jeremiah for not taping that. All right, guys. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
To point out, I know that we've said this. I don't think we've actually said it. I offered to film, and he goes, no, which I understood and completely. At one point I thought I was I'll film it. Then I'm like, no, I understand how he feels, and I wasn't gonna do that to you. But the look when he got on there and they said yes, he had this smile from ear to ear. It was so great.
I can't wait for you to ride it.
I know. I have to get back and ride it before I gain it back. I know. All right, guys.
Wait, you went in the test seat and fit, and you didn't go on?
They had to leave.
We had no time. We had to leave.
Yeah. We had to leave, but he was like, "Oh, let me just see," because you didn't think it was gonna happen.
I didn't think I had lost enough.
Yeah, he didn't think he'd lost enough yet, and then he was like, "No way,"
because I still didn't fit in Secret Life of Pets.
Well, you probably still don't.
Well, just think, when you come back, you'll be able to do Tron and Flight of Passage.
But probably still not Secret Life of Pets.
No. And then we'll take you over to Universal.
Hagrid.
I'm very excited. I did Mummy. I want to do, it's like a whole world opening up to me. It's great. Anyway, enough about me. Thanks, guys, for being here today. Always a blast. It's been great to see you both. Hey, guys, if you're a fan of Disney Trivia Live, we're going to have the actual Mike Celestino on, not a Mike Celestino produced. I don't know. You know what I mean? Normally, Mike Celestino is a booker that gets a really cool character. But tomorrow, we're going to have the actual Mike Celestino himself be our guest on the show, doing a couple of contests that he has written. And that's going to be great. So really looking forward to that. Mike's always fun, as you can tell by the past hour. We will remind him that we have a 13-year-old with us and a slightly younger audience, and he needs to do a bit better job of editing himself. But
and I'll let keep Gideon out for one of them. We'll leave Gideon for one, and then we'll have like an after-hours quiz.
Oh, scary. Yes, Jeremiah.
Have you guys, and I need to go myself, have you guys watched the Beauty and Beast 30th celebration?
Not yet.
I have it good. It's
really?
On Disney Plus. I loved it.
I've heard good things.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the best number?
I have not finished it, but Gaston. Well, I've made it. They combine animation with. When you see Gaston, you will think you're seeing the Broadway Gaston. It is so well done.
Okay. I do want to see it. I'm a big fan of, what's her name?
Her.
Get it?
Yes.
I've actually never heard of her before this, but I still want to make the joke.
Her voice is amazing. Like, it is a great Belle voice.
And I love that for Lumiere, they used another 3-named actor. I wonder if that was done intentionally.
I didn't even think about that one. And that's Cogsworth.
No, that was Cogsworth.
Yeah.
Not Lumiere. Is it Lumiere or Cogsworth in this?
It's Cogsworth in this.
Okay.
David Allen Greer is Cogsworth and Martin Short's Lumiere.
Martin Short's in it?
I know you're not going to watch it anymore. I didn't mean to say that. He actually is a little bit of annoying in it. But...
A little? What an improvement. All right, guys. We will see you all when we do this again sometime.